All right, welcome back. So today I'm gonna unbox this thing. We're gonna give this thing a little rip. Picked up some batteries for it because I don't have 3S packs. You guys have already seen this thing. Little backstory while I get this thing out of the box, because this isn't going to be a normal unboxing. The announcement of this thing 2 weeks ago, I got a call from the hobby shop saying, hey, a new RC came out, you want to demo it? And I was like, yeah, I demo everything. Very excited. So I told them I'll get ready and come on down and take a look at this thing. And I want to say it was shortly after the day of the announcement that Arrma did on this thing. I got a call saying, come on down and take a look at it. I think you'll like it. So then I started getting alerts that Arrma announced it, and within 3 minutes, I want to say like 10 videos dropped on this RC. And RC Dude 81, Tony, all these guys, after Arrma announced this thing, had running videos of it. So this fire team deal. So I started watching the videos, and I was like, man, that's a cool looking body. So, and I really was digging the white with the camel look. And so I started getting ready to head on down, take a look at this thing, pick it up, and do my own running video and review of this thing like I normally do on every drop. And so I want to say within an hour, I don't know, 15 videos dropped of this thing. I think RC Dude 81 dropped 2 or 3 videos. Tony dropped a couple of them. So I started watching the videos, and I was like, man, this thing is not a basher. Everybody's portraying it kind of like a basher, talking about how cool it is, this and that. And I couldn't get an honest review of this thing. To be frank, and that's why I do what I do, is that I try to be honest and see the stuff that I see, unboxing it, looking at it, going through it, seeing where there could be problem areas, and then let you guys decide if it's something you guys want to buy. Do some running videos of it. But everybody was promoting the heck out of this thing, and it's the first time I've ever seen that. I don't know if it's because Arrma was that excited, or they felt that it was that good. But what I noticed in all the videos is that this thing kept nosediving, because there wasn't a ton of wheel speed, and putting a handbrake in it on anything that runs off road, that means you have to run light diff fluid. By running thin diff fluid so that you can lock up only the rear, doesn't give you the wheel speed for the front, and you can't control it in the air. So when you nail that trigger to try to bring up the front, it's just going to want to continue to nosedive and keep landing on the front off every jump. And that's what I was noticing. And I'm like, it's not really a ascended basher. It's kind of like a on road but in dirt type basher, I guess you would say. So I think the next day I went down and looked at it, and man, I'm telling you, there was probably I want to say 20 videos by the next day on this RC. 25 videos. They're just promoting the heck out of it, talking about how good this thing is. And I was like, man, like, it must be awesome. Well, they're telling us it's awesome. And then I started getting messages on my my page. So I called RC Guy Garage, and I'm like, hey, are you gonna order that thing? Are you gonna pre-order it? because at that point I didn't even know how much this thing cost. And he's like, man, do you realize that thing's $800? And I'm like, $800 for a Mojave with some body and some wheels? That was running through my head, you know, and I'm like, it's all repurposed parts. Like, there isn't new tooling other than the body and the wheels that I could see, you know. And RC guy's like, yeah, I think the shock towers are a little different as well. But I was like, man, $800 worth for a $600 RC, you know, I couldn't see it. So I went down in person, and I was digging the tires. I like this sidewall on, you know, it kind of felt, you know, belted, but not. I know it's not belted, but the sidewall is really strong. So it's only gonna balloon in the center here. So I was really digging the tires when I went down and looked at it. Not really digging the whole machine gun and arm deal that they got going on here. I just, you know, I believe in our military. I support our military. But in this day and age, I just didn't think there was a lot of like G.I. Joe, little army men, people playing with war, basically. Especially here in California, where they're all anti, you know, war, you know, peace and blah, blah, blah. And I support our military. I think it's something cool. I just didn't think kids were into that. But long story short, a couple things I noticed was, of course, this. I haven't really seen any of them break off, but this bothered me. Look at this. I'm going to bring you guys in and show you this. So this area right here, I didn't see anybody talk about it until I think yesterday. RC Dude 81 said that he just threw a piece of tape here because he noticed that these things were flapping around and there's really nothing to support them. And there's not. There should have been a screw or something in this corner to keep this thing secured on. Because if not, this thing's going to catch on tree branches, bushes, that kind of stuff, and it's going to rip this body right here. This is a really flimsy area here. The other thing that I was noticing is that, you know, these the back part of this body is really flimsy right here. Now it does have this cage all the way around, and I didn't see one broken yet. Especially RC Dude 81 has been sending this thing, and he's already got rid of the handbrake because he had it, I think, 500K to the center, which means you're really not locking up the rear anymore. If you hit the handbrake, it's going to lock up all the tires, so drifting's pretty much out. So the first thing I like to do whenever there's something new is I like to just, you know, we're touchy people. So I noticed that this back bumper, really flexible. Now, I don't know if this is going to catch on anything and break. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I did notice that this is really, really flexible back here. As far as these little winglets. The front, same thing in these corners. The other thing I like to do is see how close the body is to the wheels when it's fully turned. Now I know I keep saying RC Dude 81 because he's the one out bashing this thing and sending it. Everybody else seems to be running it on some grass. But you hear that? That's the plastic. So when these things, if you're turned and you're accelerating, this tire is going to balloon out in the center and it's going to hit right here. And I think that's why he added the wheel hexes and changed, you know, everything to bring it out, because it's probably rubbing right in here and it's going to rip this off. I know on my DBXLE 2.0, if I'm cranked and I'm sending it, I hit in these corners and I tend to break it right here. And they've got a couple screws in here, knowing to support it on the low seat. Now this I just don't see. As you see, look at that. You know, if this catches right over here, it's going to rip this piece off. It's going to rip the screw there and the screw there. So I do worry about that. Now, I know he talked about adding washers in certain places on this body, and the ones that are really sending it have literally removed the roof piece, remove this back piece. I think remove most of these panels and are just running the cage when they're sending it. So that's telling me that, you know, these body panels, if you're going to send it like that, just not going to last. And I honestly don't think that these, it looks like this thing's on a spring, but I just feel that the tip of this gun or something is going to break off here. And it is replaceable. I see it right there. They got a couple screws to where you can take the gun out. I probably will take these guns out of here. These are more rigid. But this thing worries me whenever you have loose stuff. The heads do swivel, so hopefully they don't pop off like they do on the Losies. But I was digging these side plates until I thought that they were metal in the video, and they're literally plastic. And as you see, they're pretty flexible. Now, mind you, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing being this flexible. You know what I mean? I'm just showing you on how soft this stuff is. So at what point are these things going to break? I don't know. I can't tell you. I haven't ran it yet. Let me get you guys put back up. So long story short, while I'm showing you what I see, there were so many videos on this thing, and then the price point for me, it's just not worth it. This is a 6S rig. It's not a 5th scale, and we're at $800. You know what I mean? Now my hobby shop, and I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to skip on the review on this one. Just leave it on display in the hobby store, and let's see how many pre-orders you get, because ever since I've been doing reviews for her pre-orders on new RCs has gone way up. Especially like on the Vendetta, that kind of stuff. So it's really, really helped my local hobby shop, and I'm grateful on doing it. So after about a week and a half, I get a call from my local hobby store, and I'm talking to Christina over there, and I'm like, so that new fire team, yeah, the one I decided I wasn't going to do a review on, how many pre-orders did you get on that thing? And did you get the demo model sold yet? And she's like, Earl, honestly, I've got 0 pre-orders. And I was shocked, honestly. I really was. And I was like, 0 pre-orders? I mean, it's a cool looking body. I figure, you know, with all the great reviews that are out there on this thing, you know, you would have received a bunch of pre-orders on this. So I'm going to do a review on this thing. I'm not telling anybody to go out and buy it. Like I said, I'm going to just look it over, tell you what I see, like this stuff. I think it's, in my opinion, the price point is a little much. I think this is a $630, $650 RC out the door. But, you know, even her, she had them marked down, I think, $709 plus tax, which still brings it to like, you know, 700, and you figure it's $10 for every 100, so that's $70. So yeah, you're $780. You're just under $800 on purchasing this through our local hobby store. So long story short, I was gonna pass on this thing. So look at this. See, and this is another thing. Rocks, debris coming up, going to be hitting this, and over time it's going to break this body. So this would be a shoe goo point, drywall tape and shoe goo right in here and put the panels back on. Same thing I feel on these corners right here. Shoe goo, drywall tape. You can see it's already got some like flex point on this thing, and this thing's just been sitting on the shelf at the hobby store, just sitting there locked up because people have been coming in, grabbing RCs and running out the door. So she literally, when she puts anything on the counter, has to chain it up, which is ridiculous. I don't know why people do that. It is a pivot ball style, you know, like we know that it is Creighton Arms on a Mojave chassis. Chassis definitely is a stock looking chassis. I do like the little side guards here that are bolted to the chassis. And you know what's funny is, right out of the box, I'm going to show you guys this. You're seeing this. This screw is missing. Screw there, screw there, screw there, screw missing. Arrma quality. That's what I'm telling you guys. So I'll find a screw and put this in for her. It's probably a nut and a screw. Nut and screw is missing. But as you see, right out of the box. So maybe nut and bolt check this thing right out of the back. These are the things you don't see on these promoted videos. But, you know, I know a lot of these are good guys out there. They're just, they're trying to bring you guys the latest and greatest. There's no sugarcoating anything on my channel. And that's why I don't submit for anything, for any kind of like promotion for Arrma or Horizon, because I don't want to be that guy signing a letter saying, hey, I can't really talk about this thing, and you know, I can't really stress my honest opinion. But there you go, bolt missing there. The other thing that I noticed is that these steering links are super thin right here. They're not thick at all, and they're long. They look longer, but they look super thin. Hopefully we're not going to have an issue with bending these links with these massive tires on the end here. I do like that Arrma does the steel CVDs, where Traxxas and most other brands are using plastic. I want to say Traxxas and Red Cat and that kind of stuff. The lower end models. Traxxas really needs to step up their game and stop selling you in the upgraded kit steel CVDs. I think Traxxas should already be at the point where their RCs at the price point should have steel CVDs in it. It's just my 2 cents. Let's crack the lid to this because this is what I did when I was at the hobby store. So it's one front mount, one big front mount, and that's a pretty massive body clip. And then the rear has got 2 smaller clips. 2 smaller body clips, and then the body comes off. And this looks massive. You know, it's got the locking system like people have talked about. It's got a little foam pad for impacts in the front. I think is good. I think Arrma, you know, on this body did a lot of work on this roll cage, and I'm hoping with this center support like they always do, this little bash impact area, that this cage is really going to protect your RC and protect your chassis from bending, is what I'm hoping. Is that you know, all this technology going into this thing, and I think that's why the price point's so high. I wish Arrma would have done this without the rear brake. I think it's cool for on-road. I think it could be cool for off-road if you're not going to bash it, if you're just going to jump it. The other thing that the big battery tray deal over here. They're still using the big battery strap with one strap this way. I felt it should have been 2 straps because you're double stacking batteries. Should have been 2 straps sideways and 1 strap this way. We already know that these straps over time do break. So I just wish that correction would have been done. But they are giving us a new RC, you know, and for those diehard fans that could afford it, not everybody can afford this. It's really limiting the market. So it looks like it has the EXB little top plate deal here, which is good. They're still using the plastic little shim deals for your caster. This long body post deal here, I'm not sold on this. Not at all. Let's see. Anything else metal on this thing that I can see? These steering links, like I said, I'm a little concerned about those. I'm glad it comes with sway bars, considering now that it's been almost 2 weeks, they're promoting this as a dirt basher, not really a jumper, just one to go out to, say, grass areas, dirt, big open, wide open dirt areas, slide, drift to things, maybe hit some banks, that kind of stuff. And small jumps, little tiny jumps, not sending it off some big, you know, send it ramp. That's not what this RC is designed for. And I'm glad that after a week and a half, almost, I think it's 2 weeks now, people are starting to say that. I wish it was said sooner, so that a bunch of pre-orders weren't out already. Yeah, so the bolt that's supposed to go there, it looks like it's stripped out. There's a big hole there, and none of the other ones have a big hole. This is the only one that kind of looks like a nut shape, and there's a big hole. So maybe there's a nut captured inside there. I don't know, but we're going to try to get a bolt in that thing. It sucks because it's not in the box, and like I said, this is the demo model, so this was taken out and set on the counter. There probably was a bolt laying around in there, I would assume. But to display something like this with hardware missing, not very cool. The other thing that I notice is that the drive shafts are on the other side, and it looks like the motor is kicked over a little bit because the drive shafts are angled that way. I'd have to look at the Mojave and see if that's the way they did it. Normally, Arrma has these straight, but I don't know. S652, S650 for the brake servo, 652 for the steering servo. It does have an aluminum servo horn, which is cool to do that, which I like. These dog bones, I think you can get them in adjustable ones. These upper arms look thin, but we know with the Mojave and the Creighton, they're usually pretty good. So I don't really see a problem with any of that. They've got some sort of the locking system here, and they've got slots in it, so that looks pretty rigid and pretty good. It's Arrma quality. It looks like the same diff case covers. So you're pretty much getting the standard electronics. You know, I imagine it's the 150 amp. Yep, 150 amp ESC fan with the heat sink on the motor. Is this a 2200 or 3200? What is this thing? 2050 kV. So the standard 6S electronics that come in everything. They did add a little bracket here for the wire. The wire is where it can't get to the pinion, so it looks like they got the wire pretty much secured. They added, you know, this holder back here as well, so that the motor wires don't tend to pop out. They have these little side deals that I think are going to lock in. Yep, lock in the cage right here on the four corners. So you got four of these posts sticking up. Which is good. Like I said, the whole cage design looks very good. But $200 good from the Mojave, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But we're going to get out. We're going to rip this on some loose dirt. I'm not going to change anything with this thing. And we're going to run it. You guys have already seen the remote and the packaging and all that. So hopefully yep, that stuff's in there. I'll probably up the pinion like I do on all of them. I'll put the speed pinion in it, and we'll keep an eye on temps. But there you go. You guys have seen this. A lot of people ask me to, when am I going to do a unboxing or review, and I honestly wasn't going to do it on this one, just because of the price point. I just personally feel it's out of the price point, but I'm going to do it, and we're going to look it over. I'm going to be optimistic, and hopefully this thing impresses me. Between all the videos that are out there, I'm seeing some key points finally start to show through, like RC Dude 81 talking about having to tape these corners down. I'm glad he said it. I wish he would have said it before a lot of people pre-ordered that. And this is what I try to promote. I try to show you guys everything, and I waste my money. And I get my local hobby shop to let me demo these things so that I can bring all the questions and answers to you guys honestly. Just wasn't able to do this one early enough for you guys. But we're going to get out there. We're going to be optimistic, and we're going to rip this thing and see if it's as much fun as these guys have been portraying in the videos. But there you go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Just, you know, my thoughts on all this stuff. Like I said, I don't know if this is good or bad, but we're going to take it out. We're going to rip it. We're going to see how it does. And I do have some surprises coming on the body, these machine guns. I got some ideas I want to try with this thing. So there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching.